Hey guys, I'm back with another video. And from time to time, I'm going to be interviewing the most important people in my life, starting with my family. And today, I'm going I'm going to be interviewing my madre or mother. Okay, so mom, what is one of your earliest memories?
One of the things that I remember very well, I was 4 years old and I was invited to sing the song You Light Up My Life at the Muncie Central Auditorium. And I got up on stage and I was under the lights, and actually that's when I knew I loved the stage and lights. So that was like one of my earliest memories, but for years and years and years, I heard myself singing.
I would not be able to do that.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Look what you're doing now. Okay.
So, next question.
Okay.
What was your relationship with your mother like?
Well, I know a lot of people say this, but I honestly believe that my mother is the best person in the world. She is kind, she is compassionate, she is a hard worker, worked hard for us. We were in and out of poverty. She just really worked hard. She's been my greatest cheerleader, counselor, personal nurse, everything that I've ever needed. My mom is the most amazing woman, person in my life. Honestly, she's my hero, and I really don't know what I would do without her.
Okay. Next question. What was your hardest breakup like?
So really only had one real relationship with your dad,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of breakups, like little breakups here and there. There was at one point in our relationship where it was like a real breakup and we were apart for a couple of months. I was devastated. He broke up with me, and I thought it was over forever. He started to get interested in me again. I was really starting to kind of feel like, no, you know what, I'm gonna be okay. But things worked out, and we did get back together, obviously, and we're still together today. We've been together for 30 years. So we started dating at 15.
So does that mean I can start dating at 15?
Next question.
Growing up, what did you want to do for a living? What did you want your future career to be?
So while I was a kid, always I wanted to be a lawyer. I went into the criminal justice program, planning to get into the pre-law program and go on from there. I've always, I guess, I don't necessarily like to debate, but
Yeah.
people
What?
say that I'm a debater. I definitely like to argue the point for the underdog. Definitely somebody who wants to stand up for injustice and for people who are marginalized, people who are being mistreated, people who have a voice, because I believe all people have a voice, but maybe whose voices are not valued, are not heard. And so I guess I would not have ended up as a criminal lawyer. I would have done more community type work. Yeah, I don't know how that would have ended, but I'm definitely someone who's passionate about helping the underdog.
How have your notions of what it means to be a woman changed over your lifetime?
I'm sure that if I had time to really think about it, that I could really enumerate ways that things that I've seen change, or how my attitude about being a woman has changed, considering even how the world has changed. But I was raised by strong Black women, raised to be a strong Black woman, raised that my opinions mattered, my feelings mattered. And so I don't have one of those stories of I was beat down and pushed down, and then finally I found my voice. I've always felt like I had a voice. And I don't think that the women in my family were their plan was we're going to raise strong Black women. And my cousins are the same way. We're all confident and vocal, compassionate and empathetic, but definitely we stand strong and tall. And so I just think that comes from heart. My mom is more soft-spoken, but still a very strong woman, and so she raised strong women. So I don't know. I definitely see some things that have changed in the world for the better, for women, but I've always felt empowered as a woman. I've always felt liberated as a woman, and so I guess not a whole lot of change in my notions of womanhood in my own personal experience.
So, what was it like being a working mom at the time? Would you do it all over again? What would you change?
Okay, so yes, being a working mom, wife, I had really struggled with, the idea of wanting to be home with my children, especially when they were smaller, but also wanting to be able to go to school, because most of you and your brother and sister's lives, I've been a student, not now, but most of your lives. And so I always kind of bobbled, should I really be working and going to school, or should I really be at home? And I didn't feel like I had to be at home because society said that, or the church said that, or anything like that. And I never felt that. I didn't feel that from the church. I didn't feel that pressure from anywhere. I just wanted to be. I wanted to be available to my kids. I always wanted that. And so what really happened for me is I feel like I was really blessed to have the kind of jobs, all while raising all three of my children. I always had the kind of job, no matter where I went, where I could take my kids to work with me, or I had the kind of flexible schedule that would allow me to leave whenever I wanted to, if I needed to travel. I mean, it's been awesome. So I've been able to work and work full time, but also been able to be there for my kids or have my kids with me. And so I think if I could go back and do it, I probably would have spent a season. Would have wanted to spend a season at home, completely at home. But I'm grateful that I had an opportunity to have that experience, at least to some degree, with the freedom of my job. So
Okay, next question. Okay, so who were your role models? Who did you look up to when you were younger? Who do you look up to now?
My mom, I've already mentioned, is number one. So my grandmother, her mother, my mamaw, Betty Barnes. I can't even go there because I'll be crying. But wow, is what I can say. And then my aunts, my mother's sisters, my Aunt Joyce and my Aunt Dorothy. I value and have had great relationships with men in my life. There have been some really great men in my life, and I value that. I appreciate that. I feel like that's an important aspect. But the women in my life have just been constants. Always there, always encouraging. My Aunt Joyce did not birth any children of her own, and ended up later adopting children. But when I was a child, she didn't have any kids, and so she had a room in her house that was my brother and I's bedroom. And I remember she had a Raggedy Ann and Andy. Yeah, you don't know nothing about that. Decoration in our room, and like that was our home away from home. And then my Aunt Dorothy was such a huge cheerleader. Every event I was at, every time I did a lot of singing, she was the loudest person in the audience cheering me. I always knew I had to brace myself when I came on stage, because I knew I would hear my Aunt Dorothy say, "Go, Lisha! Go! Come on, y'all, come on!" She was just always, and she's still that way.
Yeah, she still is.
So just had strong women. My mom, my grandmother, my aunts, paternal grandmothers as well. Just really strong women in my life.
So, is there a moment or event that radically changed your way you saw the world?
I kind of do remember, maybe because I grew up in such a close-knit family and community. I grew up in just really kind of protected by my family and those who are close in our neighborhood. I did not feel like the city that I lived in was racist. As I was growing up, and again, I think because I was so protected, but I was just so guarded and embraced in this community that I guess I just didn't see racism. There was something that happened in our city that had to do with changing the name of one of our streets to Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. The African American community said, we want to change the street name. The street represents us. This is where we live. There was such an uproar in our city. The weeks and months that followed that had me in tears, reading letters to the editor in the newspaper and hearing comments that were so ugly. And now that we want to change the street, these organizations are upset with us, ready to move their business is off of our street if we name it. And I could not believe it. I could not. I was in tears. I mean, I grieved for several months. How blind have I been that I didn't ever see this before? And so that changed me. I was just like, where am I living? This is not my home. This is not the Muncie I know. I'm now, of course, working and fighting hard in the areas that I feel called to help remedy some of that and bring some education to those families, people, communities, our neighborhoods, to make things better. But we still have a long way to go. But that definitely impacted me in a powerful way.
What was the moment I hurt you most when I was growing up?
At 14, I think that moment is still to come. Now, we'll tell you this. The other day, you did hurt my heart. It wasn't devastating like it might be later. But when you were angry with me because you hadn't done your housework appropriately, and I made you come home, or you couldn't do something you wanted to do, and then you let my popcorn burn because you were mad at me. Like, literally, you're in the kitchen doing the dishes and the popcorn is cooking, and you know, because you make popcorn regularly, you know when to stop the microwave, pull the popcorn out before it burns. And I just know that you were just in there thinking to yourself, she didn't let me have a sleepover.
I was thinking that.
I'm gonna let her popcorn burn. And I couldn't believe that you let my popcorn burn.
You were hurt because it's popcorn.
You know what? Here's the thing. You do know that it wasn't because the popcorn burnt, because what did I do? I made another bag of popcorn. I care about the popcorn. I just couldn't believe that you were taking your frustration for your neglect of doing your housework out on me. But that's minor compared to things that could happen, hopefully not, in the future. But that hurt me. No, I'm kidding.
Whatever. Okay, so guys, after I finished the interview with my mother, she was getting a little tired, and her her son, my brother, called her, and she said she can't finish the end video right now, so she wanted me to finish it because she's talking on the phone with him like right now. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and end it, with our daily trace. 3, 1, 2, 3, uno, dos, trace. Okay, so I found this joke, and I like it. Like, it didn't make me laugh like as much as it usually does, but I wanna see you guys. Maybe you guys might laugh at it. Probably not, because I bet you guys never do. You guys are like, that's not even funny, but they're funny to me, so deal with it. If you're gonna subscribe to my channel, you're gonna have to deal with corny jokes. Okay, so let's get started. So, why do we tell actors to break a leg, Because every play has a cast. Get it? Like, cast people, actors, like, in the play, and like a cast for your leg if you broke it or something. That was funny, right? Probably not, but we're gonna go ahead and go to the daily quote. Where is it at? There it is. Okay, so here's the quote. Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. That quote was by Albert Einstein. Okay. So now we're gonna go do our daily shout outs. Okay, so we have 2 comments, and one's from Jasha Hall. She said, love the video. Thanks, Jasha. And one from Tamara Williams. She said this. Okay, JC says, are they supposed to be rubbery? And I replied, yeah, they looked and felt rubbery. You got my stomach hurting all over again, because those things were nasty. So guys, sadly, or maybe you guys are happy, it's the end of the video. So you guys probably know this. It's like the 4th video. You better know it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications. Bye, guys.